this is the question for this live stream. I didn't schedule it. I simply received the inspiration and I said, let me come talk to the love tubers. Why are so many people leaving Jehovah's Witnesses? Why are so many people waking up, as we say? Why now? What's happening in the world and in the organization that's causing people to do this? And I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to break it down for you in this conversation. There are several themes that I've been seeing, and there are several disturbing events that have been occurring that say, oh, this is why people are leaving Jehovah's Witnesses. This is why. This is why. So lately, I've been seeing a rash of why I left Jehovah's Witnesses on YouTube, like more than normal. And you just watch one and then you just go down the rabbit hole because the algorithm will just keep sending you more and more and more. Well, this is a very disturbing development that just happened with Jehovah's Witnesses on jw.org, which I do not watch. I get my news from YouTube about JWs. jw.org and Stephen Lett. If you don't know who Stephen Lett is, it's okay. You don't need to know who Stephen Lett is for this conversation. But Stephen Lett is a super cringy spokesperson for Jehovah's Witnesses. And they have this JW broadcast every month. And I don't watch it because why? I haven't been there in 30 years. I woke up in my late 20s, early 30s. I left over 30 years ago, never looked back. So people say in the comments sometimes, especially on TikTok, they say, well, if you left, why are you talking about it? You shouldn't be talking about it. You're just bashing people. I don't talk about them. I talk about my experience with them. That's two different things. You never heard me talk about anybody else in the Jehovah's Witness organization. I tell you my experience in the organization and why, for the purposes of sharing my story so that if it inspires someone, if it wakes someone up, if it gives someone courage to leave a situation that is not for your spiritual, mental, emotional, financial, or physical good, that you become more empowered to do so, because the more of us who speak up about what we ourselves experienced in the cult and where it went left, where our inner voice was telling us, the stronger that makes all of us as a collective, and the more that it calls into light what these crazy cults and religions do, and shining a light on them helps us free ourselves from the shackles of religion. That's why I do this. That's why I do this. I don't do this to bash anybody. If you love Jehovah's Witnesses, baby, love them. There's a lot of people in my life that I still love, that are still there. So I don't hate Jehovah's Witnesses, so let's get that very clear. When you see these different people talking about why I left Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't say, burn down every Kingdom Hall. I never said that. There are people that still need to be in Jehovah's Witnesses. Go right ahead, stay right there. It's all good. I tell you why I left. I tell you what I experienced, what I saw, what I witnessed, and where it was at odds with my spirit and with my common sense and with my intuition, just all of it. So here's something, so I just had to say that before we go deeper. So here's something super cringy that just happened on jw.org, and I see other YouTubers are talking about this too. Jehovah's Witnesses just started asking for recurring donations. Recurring donations. And who did they send to ask the global organization for these recurring donations? Who did they send? Because they had to pay, they were in the governing body, was sitting around talking. Okay, we need money. We got to come up with money because paying off for all these child molesters all over the world and fighting these lawsuits, it's costing us tons of money. And we've sold a lot of buildings. We sold all that prime real estate in Brooklyn, New York, and moved our headquarters upstate to New York to a farm that people can't access. So we need to get some money. Any ideas? And one said, I think we should ask the members for money. Yeah, but we already said that our position is that we're not like Babylon the Great and all the other churches asking for money and passing a collection plate around. What are you saying, a collection plate? No, we can't do a collection plate. That would be too much like church. We can't do that. Well, what can we do? Hey, how about, this is what one of them said, how about we just tell them all to go to jw.org and just put their credit card in and just make a payment every single month? Great idea. Good answer. Good answer. Let's just tell them all. Okay, who's writing the script for this? Because I'm about to make the video. And how can we say this is from the Bible? Because remember, we have to figure out how do we get the people to think? We got to make them think this is from Jehovah God. How do we get them to think this is from the Bible? Oh, I'm going to look up some scriptures. Wait a minute. Let's have the AI get some scriptures right now. Hey, AI, look up all the scriptures in the Bible about, what should the AI prompt be? Generosity. Oh, generosity, right. We want them to be generous. Good idea, good idea. Okay, generosity. And the AI spit out like 2-3 scriptures about be generous with your brothers and sisters, and God loves a cheerful giver, and all these. Okay, let's get the script together. Let's get the script together. Now, we need to get the tech department on board so that they can set up these monthly recurring payments on jw.org. Yeah, let's get our credit card processing all ready for this. Oh, this is going to be a good one. This is going to be an onslaught of cash. Well, what are we going to tell them we need the money for? To make more books. We're a printing corporation after all. We got to make more books. Oh, okay. We got to make more Kingdom Halls. Well, we just sold a bunch of Kingdom Halls. No. Hey, don't get sidetracked here. We need the masses to believe this story. So let's tell them we're going to build some Kingdom Halls in places where the need is greater. Oh, the need is greater. Let's do that. Ding. Good answer. Oh, wow. You governing body, I'd say we're doing pretty good today. Would you say? Yeah, governing body, we're doing pretty good today. Okay. And so they came up with the whole script and everything, and they put Stephen Lett out there on the front. Brothers and sisters, I'm Stephen Lett, and I'm now going to empty your pockets every single month on jw.org for Jehovah. Oh my God. I saw this thing and I said, this is a new low, even for the cult. Even for the cult. This is a new low, even for the cult. Now, the cult has some pretty low lows, but this is a historic new low for the cult. And I'm just looking at, wow. And the YouTubers were all over it because people on YouTube were like, now they're asking for recurring monthly donations or jw.org. You ain't even got to go to the Kingdom Hall to put your little money in the contribution box in the back. That's where they used to have the contribution box. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Thank you so much, Shan. I love that. Thank you. I beat my face today because I made some videos coming up for y'all. Wait, remember they used to have the contribution box, and it was totally voluntary, and they never asked for money. They made it a point never to ask for money. Why? Because they wanted to make sure that they differentiated themselves from all the churches that were asking you for money every 10 minutes when you went in there. Okay, hallelujah. Okay, let's take up for the building fund, okay? And then 10 minutes later, come on, saints, let's take up for the children's ministry. Okay, here you go, children's ministry. Okay, let's take up something for the... Does anyone still believe that these religions are from God? Because God don't need this damn much money. God don't need money. And if God's minions on the planet needed money, why isn't God just giving it to them? Why is it always a call to the people in the thing that are not being enriched anyway by the thing? They're telling you to just, the poor, blessed be the poor. That's not what Jesus said. And just be humble and meek and just get by with just little scraps, and Lord, if it be your will. Just let me get a little something, Lord. I don't ask for much, Lord. Lord, stop it. This groveling energy, this low vibration, just sprinkle a little crumbs on my head. Lazarus at the feet of the rich man, just having the dogs lick his wounds and him just eating the crumbs. And the rich man is the villain of the story, and Lazarus is the hero because he's going to be raised up to heaven. That gives them permission to go ahead and fleece the flock now. Because you're going to get your reward in heaven. You're going to get your reward in the by and by, baby, in the by and by. Wow. And I used to believe it. I used to believe it. Hook, line, and sinker. Well, let me not say hook, line, and sinker. Hook, line, and sink. Because part of me was always like, get out of here. Get out of Dodge. There was a part of me. There was a part of me in here that was always like, get out of it, run, Forrest, run. Okay, so that's one big, like, these people must be running out of money. The cult is crumbling. Let's go to number 2. Jehovah's Witnesses have declared war on anyone who has left and talks about it on YouTube. You know what they call us? They call us apostates. What is an apostate? According to Jehovah's Witness lore, because it's a mythology just like any good fantasy novel, according to Jehovah's Witness lore, an apostate commits the unforgivable sin against the Holy Spirit, which is the only thing that can never be forgiven, and you are guaranteed eternal destruction. Now, because they don't believe in hellfire, because they said it's not scriptural, which they're right about that part. Nobody's wrong about everything and nobody's right about everything. They said that you are just going to have obliteration. You're just going to be gone. Never thought of, just obliterated. And you can never be forgiven. You can never be forgiven. And there's more. There's more. If you're an apostate, you turned away from the truth, quote unquote truth, which means that you're now contagious to the flock. So if you speak to anyone in the Jehovah's Witness organization, you're tainting them, you're tainting the flock. This is where the shunning comes in. This is where the ostracizing comes in. This is where the abandonment comes in. See, they are playing on some deep emotional needs of people. The need that we have as human beings to be in community, to be connected, to have love, have loving relationships. They threaten you with yanking it all away from you because they are going to tell you that if you ever become an apostate, we're going to yank it all away from you. Wow. Psychological manipulation. Psychological torture. Psychological abuse. That's what these cults are doing. Now we can love the people there and understand that the hypnotic spell that they are under is psychological abuse. Cults psychologically abuse people. Yeah, just like a disease, that's right. At its finest, that's exactly what they do. Your free will, gone. Your ability to choose what you'd like to watch in a movie is gone. Your ability to choose what books you'd like to read, gone. Your ability to talk to people that you don't know and choose who your friends will be, gone. Your ability to be able to enjoy the entertainment you desire to enjoy, gone. Your ability to wear what you desire, gone. Your ability to groom yourself in the way you desire, gone. If we want you to have an idea, we're going to give it to you. We tell you what to read. We tell you what movies to go to. We tell you what people you can hang out with and cannot hang out with. We tell you what entertainment you can engage in and what you cannot engage in. We tell you, men, that you have to shave your face, and then later tell her, oops, maybe you don't have to shave your face. Well, maybe you can have a beard after all. We tell you, women, what length dress you have to wear. It has to be beneath your knee. Oh, oops. Well, now, women, if you want to wear pantsuits, that's okay too. It's okay with Jehovah. Jehovah keep changing his mind. Your God don't know what it wants. Because one day your God says this and another day your God says this. Okay, so beyond, so that's the second one. The first one is this money situation. This money situation is, they have made an about face on that one, which they've made an about face on quite a few quote unquote doctrines. And the second one is this whole apostate thing. So they tell you, don't listen to people on YouTube. Don't listen to people like me. They are waging a war. It's a one-sided war because we left. We're not waging a war on them. They're waging a war on us. And it has nothing to do with me because I haven't talked to a Jehovah's Witness in I don't know how long. I've talked to a lot of ex-JWs. An actual literal JW? Well, I haven't talked to a JW in a very long time because even my family members that are still in the cult don't talk to me. They can't talk to me because I'm disfellowship. And now that I talked about it to y'all on YouTube, I'm officially an apostate. So, and you know what? I can't say that I'm mad. I can't say that I'm mad. I do love my people that are still in the JW. I love them. I don't miss all the cult shit. I don't miss it. Wasn't the Jehovah's Witnesses founded by a white boy? Yes. His name was Charles Taz Russell. And every Jehovah's Witness, it's a cult. Every Jehovah's Witness, if you say the name Charles Taz Russell, they know exactly who you're talking about. If you ask any witness about Brother Rutherford, they know exactly who you're talking about because these were like the founders. This Charles Taz Russell was the founder of Jehovah's Witnesses. They used to be called the International Bible Students, and then it changed years later to Watchtower and Bible Tract Society. Now, no one ever picks up that it's a religion that is a corporation. No one ever picked up the name. Jehovah's Witnesses is just kind of what they go by because they're supposed to be witnesses for their God, Jehovah. We've already discussed here on this channel the origins of Yahweh, that he was a minor Canaanite deity that eventually got promoted to being the God of all Christianity. Really scary. Anywho, let's continue. So let's go now to, so you're right, Jehovah's Witnesses founded by this dude. And, well, I don't want to say a dude. It was an older gentleman. I want to be respectful of the man himself. He's no longer in this life, and I don't speak ill of the dead. He's gone on to glory. He's gone on to glory. Now, let me take you to the third thing that I'm noticing crumbling in Jehovah's Witnesses. The more archaeology, history, AI, study, research, the more and more that it is revealed, the more people can now conduct their own independent study and find out the truth about many things that witnesses told them and can see that it is all, also, I won't say all of it, that much of it is an absolute lie. Give you an example. Jehovah's Witnesses have long held that Jehovah, right, is God. Jehovah created Adam and Eve 6,000 years ago. There's no such thing as dinosaurs. Help me, people. We got dinosaur bones, people. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? This is Jehovah's Witnesses craziness. There's no such thing as dinosaurs. They literally tell you that there were never such things as dinosaurs because they're not in the Bible, because Jehovah created Adam and Eve 6,000 years ago. Now, there's multiple things wrong with this story. And I was growing up in the Jehovah's Witness cult in the 60s and 70s. I didn't know no difference because all we had was the Encyclopedia Britannica, and no one was going to touch any of them 20 books that was on your shelf in grandma and mom's house because the salesman came by and sold them the Encyclopedia Britannica and said that your kids are going to be so smart. But we would pick those books up and look at them and could barely read the fine print anyway. Well, anyway, no one was going to study it. We didn't have the internet. What did we know? Okay, maybe there was no such thing as dinosaurs, but then we went to the Museum of Natural History in New York City and then in DC, and we would see like they have all these dinosaur bones and they pulled them out of the ground, and no, those are fabricated. Oh, it's all fabricated. It's a lot you have to believe to still be able to stay there. Trachosaurus are your favorite? It's like, are these people living? Who denies dinosaurs? And what's the purpose? What is the purpose? Because they have to stick to the story that 6,000 years ago, T-Rex and all of them. Look, I don't even think they want you to go see, what's that movie where they had all these dinosaurs in it? What's the name of those movies? That was movie series. Jurassic Park. I don't even think they want you to see Jurassic Park. They don't want you to get crazy ideas in your head like dinosaurs. Oh my God. I can't with these people. Okay, so they want you to believe that this whole universe came into existence 6,000 years ago and that it was created by Jehovah God. So to stick with that story, I mean, this is a hard story to stick to in the information age. Now, we learned this stuff before the information age. Now that we're in the information age, I mean, I think it's common knowledge that there were many dinosaurs on this planet, many species of dinosaurs. I think it is now common knowledge that this planet is billions of years old. I think it's common knowledge now that this planet was not created 6,000 years ago by Jehovah God, and then a man and a lady was put on the planet. We now have genetics studies, the genome of humans has been now studied, and we understand that we can't get 8 billion healthy people from one man and one woman. We would have died off by the 5th generation. The gene pool is not diverse enough. Like, we understand these things now. So how are they still able to keep people thinking things like, oh, Jehovah God created Adam and Eve 6,000 years ago, and a serpent talked to them in the Garden of Eden? Do we understand this is an allegory? Do we understand that this is a deeper story that holds so much deeper meaning about humanity and our true origins? They just keep the people sheeple. They just keep the sheeple in there, just sheepling, just believing. Don't read any books outside of the Watchtower and Bible and Tract Society. Don't. However, how are you going to live in the information age and information not come to you about the nature of this universe? How are you not going to learn about the solar system? You live in the solar system. How are they supposed to keep all of that a secret? So there's 3 things so far. I have another one. So first is this whole money grab thing, recurring payments on jw.org. Wow. Money in the vortex, money in the vortex. Hey, Calvin, how you loving? I love you, Calvin. Calvin has been an amazing supporter of this channel for years and years and years. By the way, if you're not subscribed, you better smash up the likes. Smash that like button, baby. Smash that subscribe button, baby. And remember to smash the likes, smash up the shares, and remember to subscribe. Share this with anyone that you feel might be looking at Jehovah's Witnesses, studying Jehovah's Witnesses, thinking about joining Jehovah's Witnesses, someone who's questioning their faith. Maybe they're in Jehovah's Witnesses and they're wondering, should I stay? Should I go? What should I do? Okay, here's the 4th. Oh, let me recap what we've talked about thus far. So 1 is this whole money grab, Stephen Lett, jw.org. You can go watch the monthly broadcast. I think it was for July of 2025. Or either for August of 2025. If you can even watch Stephen Lett. Stephen Lett is a very cringy person, just to me. I don't know the man in person. Just watching him, it is hard for me to watch Stephen Lett. Yet Go watch him, make your own determination. I'm talking my experience. Okay, he's just not my cup of tea. And everybody's not supposed to be everybody's cup of tea. I'm sure he's a wonderful grandpa. I'm sure he's probably a wonderful husband. Probably. Him and his Jehovah's Witness wife probably been together for 50 years, happily. Who am I to say anything about that? Go right ahead. Go right ahead. Okay. So one is this money grab, really weird, especially because, and see, I keep talking about the money grab because if it wasn't so opposing to what they've been talking about for decades, they keep saying they don't ask for money, they don't ask for money, they're not like Beverly Love the Great, we don't pass a collection plate. Yes, if you'd like to contribute, there's a contribution box in the back. They didn't tell you that's because they were selling the Watchtower Awake on slave labor. Why do I say slave labor? You don't have to go to China to find underpaid workers. You just convince people to come to Bethel, live there, and work for you 6 hours a day, morning till night, like, I don't know, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., something like that, and pay them $22 a month. That's what they used to pay the Bethelites when I was in Jehovah's Witnesses back in the 70s. Now I think they raised it, and I think they pay the Bethelites something like $100 and something a month, maybe $200 a month. Now you get all the food included, and your room and board is included. So they're basically making, if you wondered, where did Jehovah's Witnesses get all those billions of dollars? Because they have slave laborers, they have low-paid laborers that make all of their stuff. They don't have to pay insurance. Why? Because they have a doctor there. Does this sound cultish to you? They have a doctor there. And they have a dentist there. They have a dentist. You don't even have to go to the dentist. Oh, something's wrong with your teeth. Don't worry. We got a toothache. We'll take care of you. But don't get any dental work because the end is coming soon. And you know, Armageddon's coming, which they've been saying since before 1975. Anyway, and here we are. This is 2025. We are officially 40 years after 1975. Armageddon ain't here yet. Hello? I ain't seen an Arma or Armageddon. Have you? Have you seen the end of the world yet? Okay. Anyway, so this whole money thing, very, very, very interesting. The second one, like I mentioned, is about the whole apostate thing and waging a war on people who are on YouTube or social media, simply sharing their experiences, and that is problematic. And the reason it's problematic is because there are Facebook groups, there are people who are healing from cult trauma. And they're talking about it. We're sharing our experiences. So it's really fascinating that they want to demonize people who were there, who left, and who are sharing their story on social media and telling their people stay away. And the third one is this whole idea of the governing body, the control, which we've all known about the control. If you have a thought, we'll give it to you. Information that is fallacious in the information age. We now know that the things that they told us were not so. And that's okay, because that's a lot of churches. Humanity's waking up. So here's the fourth one, and this is the final one that I'm going to go into. And for me, this is a very big one. Besides them controlling everything that you do, and besides them, demonizing people for making other choices, and besides them ousting people, shunning people, besides them having cult control over everyone's life, besides them even ruling people's sex lives, including couples, Married couples still ruling their sex lives and telling them what they can and cannot do in the bedroom, all of that. Besides all that, this allegiance to the governing body, this group of old, mostly white men. I think they had one black person that was a governing body person. And I don't say white because I have an issue with white people. Not at all. I say white because I want you to understand that this governing body, these 12 or 13 men, never been any women there, these 12 to 13 men rule over millions of people around the world that are not of their same persuasion. So I can understand if we had 13 governing body and maybe one was black and maybe one was Hispanic and maybe there was an Asian one in there and maybe there were a couple of women in there and maybe there were a couple of Filipino people in there. If the governing body at least matched what Jehovah's Witnesses look like, that would even be better. I don't know if it would still solve the problem. It wouldn't solve the problem. The problem is just dissolve this cult. Problem solved. But anyway, I do understand that a lot of people still want to be there. And I have love for all people. This allegiance, this cult-like allegiance to 12 or 13 men who get to decide every area of your life. And when they flip-flop and change what Jehovah said, the people just flip-flop right with them. Just flip-flop right with them. Do you know what my son said? I'm going to close with this. My son said that this is the trauma from these people. And I don't want to say from the people that are in there that we love. I'm talking about the organizational structure. My son said that his father, because his father is still a devout Jehovah's Witness, his father's a circuit overseer. My first husband, he stayed. I was a regular pioneer. He was a ministerial servant, headed for being an elder. When we went our separate ways, parted ways, he kept going. He is remarried. He became an elder. He became a circuit overseer. My first husband, right now, is a circuit overseer. Could you imagine me being a circuit overseer's wife? I cannot imagine being a circuit overseer's wife, but I'll tell you more about what a circuit overseer is in another conversation. So this cult-like allegiance to this tiny group of men that have so much power over millions of people around the entire world, people are starting to wake up to. Yes, we are in the age of Aquarius. They're starting to wake up to, because all of us who are meditating, who are attuned to higher mind, who are eating better, who are thinking better, who are aligning with bliss and the higher frequencies, it's raising the frequency of this entire planet. And because the frequency of this entire planet is being raised, many people are being raised into a higher frequency also. That is my take on the whole thing. And yes, you are so right about the age of Aquarius. Absolutely, age of Aquarius. There's a dawning. Remember the fifth dimension, baby, back in the 70s? This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Age of Aquarius. Aquarius. Man, we used to love the fifth dimension. Anyway, and youngins, if y'all don't know what us OGs are talking about, because I am an OG. If y'all don't know what the OGs is talking about when we say age of Aquarius in the fifth dimension, look up the group back in the day with the fifth dimension. With the cute little outfits on, baby, and the 70s wigs. We was killing it. Now, this blind allegiance to men who tell you do this one day and flip to doing something else the next day, and don't ever say, wait a minute, you just told us not to do that, but now you're telling us to do it. Give you an example. My son wanted to have facial hair. When his facial hair was growing and he was a teenager, he was like 16, 17. His father told him, shave your face, shave your face, shave your face. Because he went to live with his father for a while. And his father would not have it. Go to the kingdom home, clean shaven, clean shaven. They can have a mustache, maybe a goatee. That was the rules. Do you understand that was the rules? And do you understand that every Jehovah's Witness book that you open that has pictures in it has pictures of men with full beards? Every time they showed Jesus, Jesus got a full beard, but they told you not to have a beard, and people believed it. But you're making books with pictures in them, and every man in the picture got a full beard that's from the Bible. But you tell us you follow the Bible, but you tell us the men can't have beards. What gives with that? And why? Where is that in the Bible? So everybody had to be clean shaven. You couldn't even have long sideburns. You know, unless it was the 70s. Back then you had pork chops, right? The big sideburns. But anyway, now, guess what they said a couple of years ago? You could have a beard. Jehovah said you couldn't have beard. A few years ago, the God of the universe is so concerned about your facial hair. Your facial hair is a determining factor of righteousness. Millions of people believe that. Do you see why people are waking up from this? Like, they're flip-flopping back and forth in the blind allegiance to this Jehovah's, this governing body who is supposedly the mouthpiece for Jehovah God himself. Writes it down, they get together in a room. So what's the next rule we're going to make up for these minions? And then the people blindly follow. They blindly follow. Do you see why I couldn't live in there? I could not be my free, unadulterated, authentic self in there. I would have never been able to, I would have been dead if I would have tried to stay in there. I'd have been dead a long time ago. No. Stand up and be your authentic self. Stand up and bring your true, real self to the world. Not a cookie cutter version of every single person doing the same thing, wearing the same kind of clothes, doing the same kind of haircut. That cookie cutter, cookie cutter, cookie cutter. We just need the army. Line up, cookie cutters. Line up. Wow. So it's very apparent why in this new age, especially of AI, and you can ask the AI all these different things now, it's very clear why so many people are leaving Jehovah's Witnesses, and I applaud that. Because eventually that religion will be defunct. And I will say we won't miss it. We won't miss it. It's just another cult that we remember and laugh. And for the people who were traumatized in the cult, which all of us were traumatized to some extent, you have to heal yourself of trauma from high control groups, which they say is very similar to people who have PTSD. People who have PTSD and people who have been in high control groups have some of the same traumas. You have to heal yourself of those traumas. That's all I have to say about that. I am Reverend Valerie Love, ValerieLove.com. KAISI out. Peace. I love you.